My girlfriend got drunk at a work party and told her coworkers, he's so obsessed with me I could cheat in front of him and he'd blame himself. I was the one picking her up that night. I sat in the lobby and heard the whole thing. She woke up to her stuff on the porch and her access card revoked. 62 missed calls. I wasn't obsessed, just done. I'm not the type of guy who airs his dirty laundry online, but after the shitstorm my ex has created on social media, I figure my side deserves to be heard. Sophia and I were together for 3 years, met through mutual friends at a brewery opening. I'm 34, run my own construction company, and she's 29, works in corporate marketing for a tech firm. Classic case of opposites attract. She liked that I worked with my hands. I admired her ambition. When we first met, Sophia was living with a roommate in a cramped apartment downtown. 6 months into our relationship, her roommate moved out unexpectedly. Sophia was stressing about finding someone new or having to move. I had just bought a house in a nice neighborhood the year before. Nothing flashy, but solid 3-bedroom with a decent yard, so I suggested she move in with me. No rush, but the offer was there when she was ready. A month later, she took me up on it. Seemed like a natural progression. At first, things were great. She decorated the place, made it feel more like a home than I ever could. We agreed she'd contribute a fixed amount monthly, well below market rate for rent, but it helped with utilities and groceries. I never put her name on the deed or mortgage. She never asked, and I never offered. This was my house that I'd worked hard to buy before we even met. Fast forward to last month. Sophia's company was hosting their quarterly mixer at some upscale hotel downtown. Open bar, management schmoozing with the rank and file, the works. She'd been looking forward to it for weeks. New dress, hair appointment, the whole 9 yards. That night, she texted me around 9 p.m. saying she'd had too many Moscow mules and needed a ride home. No problem. I wrapped up some paperwork and headed downtown to pick her up. When I got to the hotel, I texted that I was in the lobby. She replied that they were doing one last round and she'd be down in 15. The hotel had this mezzanine-style layout where the bar area overlooked the lobby. I found a seat with a clear view of the elevators and pulled out my phone to kill time. That's when I heard it. Sophia's laugh, I'd know it anywhere. Followed by her voice, loud and loose from the drinks. I looked up to see her leaning against the railing with 3 coworkers, 2 guys, 1 woman, drinks in hand. God, he's probably already here waiting like a puppy, she said, loud enough that it carried down to the lobby. The group laughed. One of the guys said something I couldn't hear, and Sophia responded with, I know, right? He's so obsessed with me. I could literally cheat on him right in front of his face, and he'd probably just blame himself for not being good enough. More laughter. I felt like I'd been punched in the gut. The female coworker said something about me being loaded though, right? And Sophia laughed again. The house is nice, but he's not exactly rolling in it. You should see how he tracks every penny in this little notebook. It's pathetic. That little notebook was how I built my business from nothing. Tracking every expense, every profit margin, making sure I never overextended. That discipline is why I could afford the house she was so comfortable living in while contributing less than 1/3 of the expenses. The worst part? I wasn't even angry in that moment. Just hollow. 3 years together, and this was how she saw me? As some obsessed sucker she could manipulate? I texted her, don't bother coming down, find another ride. Then I blocked her number and drove home. When I got there, I called my buddy Mike, who's a lawyer, explained the situation, including the fact that she'd been living with me for over 2 years. He confirmed what I suspected, that even without a formal lease, she had established residency and legally had tenant rights. You need to do this by the book, Mike said. Give her formal written notice. 30 days is standard. You can't just change the locks and throw her stuff out no matter what she said. Not what I wanted to hear, but I wasn't about to create legal problems for myself. I spent the next couple hours writing up a formal 30-day notice to vacate and outlining a plan. When Sophia finally made it home around 1 a.m., presumably having found another ride, I was waiting in the living room. She came in looking confused, still in her party dress, makeup smudged. What the hell, Marcus? Why did you leave me stranded? And why did you block my number? I had to get a ride from Kevin. I stood up, handed her the written notice, and said, I was in the lobby. I heard everything you said upstairs. You have 30 days to find a new place. This is your formal notice." Her face went through about 5 different expressions in 3 seconds. Confusion, realization, panic, anger, and finally, damage control. "Baby, no. I was drunk. It was just stupid work talk. I didn't mean any of that." She tried to reach for me, but I stepped back. "Save it. I'm sleeping in the guest room tonight. Tomorrow I'll help you pack whatever you need immediately. The rest you can get during the notice period." She started crying, tried to follow me as I walked away, but I closed the guest room door and locked it. I could hear her sobbing and pleading through the door, then trying to call my phone repeatedly, but I'd silenced it. The next morning, I took the day off work. Sophia had finally passed out on the couch around 4 a.m. I left her there and went to Home Depot when they opened at 6. Bought a separate keypad deadbolt for the guest room and installed it. This would be my private space for the next month where I could keep my important documents and valuables. When Sophia woke up, she tried again with the tears and explanations. I cut her off. "Look, I'm not interested in drama. You have 30 days as the law requires. I'll be civil, but we're done. If you want to leave sooner, that's your choice. But my stuff is all still here. Take what you need now. The rest you can move gradually or all at once, whatever works for you. I'll be staying in the guest room with my own separate lock until you're out." "You're really doing this? Over one stupid drunk comment?" "It wasn't just a comment. It was the truth. You showed me exactly what you think of me." She stormed off to shower and get ready for work. I heard her making calls, presumably to friends looking for a place to stay. Before she left for work, she tried one more time to talk, but I just repeated the terms of our separation. That day, I contacted my security company and had them change the alarm codes, effective the following month when her notice period would end. I made arrangements for all the utilities to be transferred solely to my name after the 30 days. I documented the condition of the house with photos in case she decided to damage anything. For the next week, we lived in awkward coexistence. She tried everything: crying, anger, seduction, guilt trips. I remained calm and firm. Eventually, she told me she'd found a friend's place to crash and would be out by the weekend, just 10 days after the incident. "I'll still need access to get the rest of my stuff," she said. "I can't move everything at once." "That's fine. We'll schedule specific times for you to come pack up the rest. I'll help if you want, or I can be gone if you prefer." The day she moved out, I helped load her immediate essentials into her friend Sarah's car. Clothing, toiletries, electronics, some kitchenware she'd brought with her originally. It was a silent, tense process. Before she left, she tried one last time. "I really do love you, Marcus. What you heard, that wasn't me. That was just stupid drunk talk trying to impress people I don't even care about." I just nodded. "I've got your things organized in the garage for when you're ready to get the rest. Just text me and we'll arrange a time." After she left, I changed the code on the electronic keypad for the front door. She still had a physical key to the old deadbolt, but the electronic lock would prevent access. I also temporarily disabled her fingerprint access to the smart lock and changed the alarm code, documenting all these changes with dated notes in case of future legal questions. 3 days later, I hadn't heard from her about retrieving her remaining belongings. I decided to unblock her number to check if she'd been trying to contact me. When I did, I found 62 missed calls and a flood of text messages ranging from furious to desperate. "What the heck is wrong with you? Answer your freaking phone. Please, baby, I'm sorry for whatever I did. You can't just throw me out. I live there. I'm calling the police. Please, I need my stuff for work tomorrow. I'm at Sarah's, but I can't stay here. Can we please just talk?" The most recent text was from the night before. "I know you heard me at the party. I was drunk. I didn't mean it. Please give me a chance to explain." I replied with one message: "Your remaining belongings are organized in the garage. Text me to schedule a time to pick them up. You can have access any day this week between 5 to 8 p.m. Let me know which day works." She responded immediately. "Can I come tonight?" "Yes. The garage keypad code is 1234 for today only. I've arranged everything in labeled boxes. The side door to the garage will be unlocked from 5 to 8 p.m. She showed up at 6:30. I stayed inside the house, monitoring through the security cameras I had installed in the garage years earlier for tool theft prevention. She spent about an hour going through everything, occasionally wiping tears away. Before leaving, she looked directly at the camera and extended her middle finger. Once her car was gone, I went out and changed the garage keypad code again, then locked the side door. She had taken most of her remaining possessions, leaving behind only some decorative items and kitchenware we'd bought together. The next morning, I contacted a locksmith to change the physical locks, not because I thought she'd try to break in, but because it was time for a fresh start. The locksmith replaced both the front and back door locks, and I had him add a deadbolt to the door, connecting the garage to the house as an extra precaution. 2 weeks after Sophia moved out, a full 20 days before her legal notice period would have ended, I received a formal email from her stating she was voluntarily surrendering her tenancy and had removed all possessions she wanted to keep. I forwarded this to Mike to confirm it was legally sufficient documentation. Since then, she's been on a campaign to trash me to anyone who will listen. According to her social media, which I've only seen screenshots of from friends, I'm controlling, financially abusive, and threw her out with nothing because I was obsessed and couldn't handle rejection. The truth? I never once checked her phone, never questioned who she was with, never put restrictions on her spending or demanded she account for her time. I was just a guy who loved his girlfriend and thought we were building something together. Last night, I got a text from one of the coworkers who was there that night, the woman. Turns out she and Sophia aren't on speaking terms anymore. You should know she's been talking about moving in with Kevin from sales. Same guy she was flirting with at the party. Apparently they've been hooking up for a while. Sorry. I didn't feel anything reading it. No anger, no jealousy, nothing. That's when I realized I was actually free. Today I hired a cleaning service to deep clean the house, threw out the sheets, rearranged the furniture, moved her remaining mail to a box for her to pick up if she ever bothers to ask for it. One of our mutual friends texted asking if I was okay after the breakup. I replied, never better. House is quiet, bills are lower, and I don't have someone pretending to love me while mocking me behind my back. She called me cold. Maybe I am, but I'd rather be cold than be someone's joke. Here's what I've learned. When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. I'm not saying I was perfect. No relationship is one-sided, but respect is non-negotiable. And the moment I heard her true thoughts, the decision made itself. I wasn't obsessed with Sophia. I was invested in us. There's a difference. When I realized us was just a convenient fiction for her, walking away wasn't hard. It was the only option that preserved my self-respect. The funny thing is, I actually do blame myself. Not for not being good enough like she joked, but for missing the red flags along the way. The subtle digs about my career choice, the constant comparisons to her coworkers' boyfriends, the way she'd roll her eyes when I talked about business goals. But that's on me, and I own it. I ignored those things because it was easier than confronting the truth, that I was with someone who didn't respect me. For the guys reading this who might see themselves in my story, remember this. Being a good partner doesn't mean being a doormat. The minute someone shows they don't value you, walk away. No drama, no revenge plots, no desperate attempts to win them back. Just pick up your dignity and move on. As for me, the company's doing well. I've refocused on work, started hitting the gym regularly again, and reconnected with friends I'd neglected. My house feels like mine again. And those 62 missed calls? They're still unanswered. Some things don't deserve a response. Thanks for the comments. To answer some common questions. 1. Yes, I handled the situation legally by giving her formal 30-day notice as required in my state, even though she voluntarily left much sooner. I consulted with a lawyer friend from the beginning to make sure I did everything by the book. 2. No, I'm not interested in getting her back or revenge. That's not the point. 3. For those asking if there were warning signs, in hindsight, yes. She'd make jokes at my expense in front of friends. She'd compare our relationship to her friends' relationships constantly. Classic stuff I should have picked up on. Before, to the people saying I should have confronted her at the party, what would that have accomplished besides a messy public scene? Actions speak louder than words. 5. And finally, yes, I really do track my business expenses in a physical notebook in addition to accounting software. It's a habit from when I started with nothing but a truck and some tools. Sue me. Edit 2. For those asking about the house, yes, I bought it before we met. No, her name wasn't on anything. She paid a fixed monthly contribution, not formally rent, but functionally similar. This wasn't some elaborate scheme to screw her over financially. It was just the arrangement that made sense when she moved in. Edit 3. Since people keep asking about the aftermath, yes, I've heard through mutual friends that she's already officially dating Kevin from her office. No, I don't care. And no, I'm not sitting around plotting revenge or crying into my beer. I'm just living my life.